Hi, I'm Marina Waicman. I go to Master Academy and I'm in 11th grade. I had a previous tutoring from before Piece of Pie, and I noticed that my scores they were getting higher, but they weren't getting high enough. Like I wasn't getting in like the 600s, like high 600s. I wasn't getting in the 700s. So I felt like I needed like harder SAT tutoring that would like actually push me to like do a lot of work and like actually stay committed. So I chose Piece of Pie because I've heard from a bunch of my friends that it works for them. So I decided to try it and it really worked for me. The one before was in person. We had only like a few homework assignments. It wasn't too much homework, which I feel like the one that made the most difference was the one that you guys have because it gave me like a lot of homework and I just had to keep working on the SAT every week. Also, the other tutoring I did it over the summer. So it was a little far from the August SAT. It wasn't too close to it, so it didn't benefit me in any way. Math is definitely a struggle for me. I always struggled in math since I was a little kid. But yeah, like after doing the tutoring with you guys, I've noticed myself not only getting good in the SAT, but getting good in like school as well. I felt like before tutoring, the biggest frustration was that the questions that I was getting, I wasn't able to answer them most of the time because I didn't understand how to even start. And that was very frustrating for me because I would sit down in the SAT and I would just look at the question and have no idea what to do with it. It was like I didn't have a place to start and I didn't have enough knowledge to know what to do with the question. At first, my biggest concern was the online classes, since it was like I didn't think it was that big of a group. It was like 5 to 6 kids. My group ended up being like four, and I felt like the tutor wasn't gonna pay attention to me, but actually it was the opposite. Like he would always check. I had a guy, and he would always check on like what I was doing and like if I was okay, if I had a question. So it was kind of like he would always try to engage me to participate in the class, which I felt like most of the time online classes don't do. So I was very surprised when I saw that they do that. I think that the size of the class really mattered because in online school we had like 30 more kids in one class, and the teacher was also not really focused on like getting the students to interact, while like these tutors were really trying to ask each student the questions and try to make sure that every student was participating. At first, I did have like I was kind of scared that I was gonna get distracted like since the beginning, but honestly, what I felt was that like sometimes yeah, I would get tiring, but then we would have that break, and in the break they would give us like a long time. They would give us like 15 minutes of a break, and that break really helped me like just like reset my whole mind and like go like relax for a little bit and then get back into 2 hours. So I like the break in the middle, which like cut the class into 2 hours and 2 hours because it felt like a restart basically. Since the test is 3 hours long most of the time, like being able to sit down on my computer and like with on the tutoring helped me like prepare for how long the test is actually like how long the test will actually be. I really liked my tutor. He was very engaging and he was also very fun. Like he would bring up topics that were kind of related to math, but then also bring up like conversations in the class that would like make the whole group get to know each other. Like he would ask us like, "Oh, what school are you in?" and questions like that that would really like get us all to be like friends and like to even like build like relationships inside an online class, which I've never like really had before. So yeah, I felt like my tutor was very qualified. He was very smart. If you had a question, he could answer it, and it was a pretty good tutor. I managed it because I had to make sure that my school studies and piece of pie was being done. And how I would manage it is that like at least I would spend like at least 2 hours a day. And I'm not gonna lie, I did get backed up sometimes that I would have to like do catch up days. Um, but what I would do is that I would put my school assignments like first. I would finish those like right after school, and then I could have the whole afternoon for piece of pie. I would dedicate at least 2 to 3 hours to piece of pie, and then if I had anything left after those 3 hours, then I would move it to the next day and try to finish it in the next day, combined with the other work that they would give me. Okay, they should know that it's a lot. They should like stay dedicated since the beginning. Like don't like back down, do all your homework. Make sure that you don't stay too behind because once you do, it's like way too much work in one day that you're not gonna be able to finish. So yeah, just stay committed from the beginning. I also kind of like I had some days where I wouldn't do my work at all, and like that really like did not benefit me at all because I felt like I didn't learn anything that day. And the point of like the homework was to learn everything every single day and like keep persistent with the SAT. So I just recommend them to not to not get distracted, to really stay focused and on their homework and finish all their assignments that they have to do. Okay, the most helpful for me in my case, it was the homework. Um, the homework really helped me like understand because I could really like Renan's videos, I would replay them and then I would understand. Like if I had a question and I would do the whole question, I was like, okay, I don't understand what this is. I would go back and I would replay the whole question and then there I would listen to it again. And that really helped me like solidify the work. And if any other day I remember what I would do in my notebook was that I would write down questions that I still didn't understand after rewatching the video. And at the end of the week, like for example, on Sunday after tutoring, because sometimes we would go over the same topics on tutoring, I would look at my questions that I wrote down and I would go back and like view the video again. So having those resources that you can go back to really helped me a lot to like go back to the questions that I didn't understand and relearn them. So I started with a 610 and my final score was a 690. So it was 80 point difference. My score before that was really low. Like I didn't think I could make it into college because I also don't have that high of a reading score. But with a high math score, now like I'm like I can get into some colleges that have like a standard for their SAT. And this math score has really brought me up to like those 1200s, 1260s around there, where I it's like the school's average, which is now super beneficial to me. I think that the investment on the program was super worth it. I did see the results that I wanted to see, and that I expected to see. So I really do think that this program is beneficial and that everyone who is struggling on the SAT math should do it. Just practice questions. Practice questions just really, really helped me throughout this whole process. And since you guys provided those for me, it was super easy to find practice questions that like I struggled with and that usually you don't see on like resources like the question bank, because the question bank has so many practice questions, but you guys pick like detailed practice questions that really help me. So just practice questions is what really, really helped me on the SAT. On my SAT, the questions that I've had for the math for both math module 1 and math module 2, I saw it all on piece of pie. Like every single question, I was like, oh, we did this with this class. Some of them I obviously forgot how to do them on the test, and I was very frustrated that I couldn't do it. But I know that every single question that I had on that test, I did have done it before. So that just felt like very like, wow, this tutoring is really good. Because if I go back and I see my SAT and they're the same questions that I've had done before. Like for example, I had one question that I forgot how to solve and I remembered it. So I went back to one of I think it was a geometry module, and I found that exact question and I did it again to like remember how to do it.